I'll be your conference MC over the next few days. I'm really looking forward to meeting you and interacting with you over these days. Let me start by saying an Irish phrase, very common Irish phrase here in Ireland. I'll say it in the Irish language. It's called Céad Mílte Fáilte. And what that means is 100,000 welcomes. 100,000 welcomes from all of you who came from all over the world to Ireland, and also from all the folks who came from the Republic and Northern Ireland to the first Global Peace Leadership Conference in Europe that's going to be happening today, tomorrow, and the next day here in Belfast. For the past 35 years, I lived in the United States, but I was born and raised in Southern Ireland, right on the south coast of Ireland, in County Waterford. And by the way, those of you who are sports fans, yesterday, Waterford won the All-Ireland Under-21 Hurling Championships. Yay! And my nephew, he was playing, he played on the team, so our family is celebrating big time in Waterford today. They can't be at the conference because they're celebrating. When I was a boy, that's what we did. We played sports, we played hurling, football, soccer, worked on the family farm, and went to school, and we lived in peace. When I was 13 years of age, my parents bought our first television. This was in 1969. And the only program we were allowed to watch during school nights was the news. And for a whole decade, we watched, and I watched, the bloodshed, the violence, the bombings, the trauma up here in Northern Ireland. It dominated half the news every single night. And for us, this was an alternative universe because we experienced none of that. There was none of this stuff going on in Southern Ireland. And Waterford to Belfast on the south coast of North of Ireland, it's only a 4-hour drive. But for us, it might as well have been 4 million miles away. It's like my parents, my teachers, our priests, my peers, my professors, they never spoke about this, not once. It was kind of like a collective denial of what was going on here. In 1980, I immigrated to the United States and traveled to over 50 countries doing peace-related work. And it was not until 3 years ago that I had the opportunity to visit Northern Ireland for the very first time. And that was with Jim Flynn and Arnold Kashembe, who will be speaking to you soon. And when we came up here to Belfast, we didn't do any sightseeing. We went straight to the offices of Cooperation Ireland. We were brought to their boardroom, and we expected to have a 2-hour briefing in their boardroom about the situation up here in Northern Ireland. We really wanted to learn about the amazing models that have been going on for the last 3 decades and more. So we met Barry Fennel and Alan Largy. You remember them from yesterday, those of you who were on the tour. So Barry says, welcome to Northern Ireland. Welcome to Cooperation Ireland. Here's a cup of tea. You've got to drink it fast because we're leaving on the bus in 5 minutes. And that started an experience that I will never forget. And since then, it's been such a humbling and learning experience to learn about and meet the amazing people who are working here for the last, and the models that have evolved here over the last 3 decades to bring about the peace and reconciliation. So we're very proud to be working with such a great partner, such as Cooperation Ireland, and it's my great pleasure to invite up a really good friend, Barry Fennel. He's the Program Director for Youth and Community from Cooperation Ireland. Give a little welcome to you. So Barry.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you all hear me okay? Good stuff. I didn't pay Tony any money for that introduction, but that was very humbling and very kind. I would like to thank Tony for his kind words. I would also like to acknowledge the support and the acknowledgement and all of that type of stuff in terms of Global Peace Foundation. The partnership has been evolving over the last 5 years, and that's something that from a personal point of view, as well as on behalf of myself and my colleague, the guy over here, who's said this morning to me, "I'm better dressed than you," that caused a bit of an argument. So we are still debating that, and I do apologise because we have continued that debate from yesterday on the bus to today, and I did promise that I wouldn't start with an argument, but I have. So sorry, Alan. But yes, it's true. But just to echo what Tony Devine has said, I would also like to welcome you here this afternoon in Irish. So Fáilte go ye, Belfast, which is welcome to Belfast. I grew up not that far from here. This is South Belfast. But I grew up in the nicest part of the city, which is West Belfast, so I just wanted to say that this morning, or this afternoon. So, on behalf of Cooperation Ireland, I am honoured to be welcoming you here to Queen's University and to the Global Peace Leadership Conference that, as Tony has already said, is being held for the very, very first time in Europe. And as an organisation, we're honoured to be supporting you guys for your time here. It's the first time it's been held in Belfast, and we think that's quite significant. And I think that does, for yourselves as well as us, it does send out a particularly unique message, and that's something that I would like to acknowledge this afternoon. But just to give you a few words about Cooperation Ireland and what we do. We are an all-island peace building charity, but in terms of the organisation, I'm here today speaking on behalf of the boss. So he's not in the room, so maybe I can sort of say whatever I want, but I have to be careful about that. So, but he is a former policeman, so there might be somebody in the audience and in the crowd who may be recording me, so I have to be very, very careful about that. So, Cooperation Ireland are particularly pleased as an all-island peace-building charity which works hard at reconciliation and inclusiveness between all our communities, that we are involved with all of you at this fantastic gathering and conference. As a peace-building organisation, Cooperation Ireland are committed to reconciliation between all of our people. We are committed to finding a way that whatever our differences are, regardless of what they are, and we saw some of this yesterday in the communities and the parts of Belfast that we travelled through, whatever those differences are, we need to learn to live together. That is not just a lesson for here, that's a lesson for everyone in this room. So we have to live together like citizens and not opponents. And that's the key thing for us we would like to get across. So over the next few days, here in Belfast, we hope that connections are made, experiences are shared, and conversations about peace, development, and much, much more take place. And just in terms of a few other comments from our point of view, this is about sharing, it's about engaging, it's about participating, it's about challenging, it's about questioning. But for the people that are in the room, all of you, the key thing is that you listen and you understand and you also acknowledge. And all of that will happen through respect for everyone that's in the room. Also, it's about learning and it's about empowering each other. And even if you think that you're working in isolation in another part of the world, have a conversation with somebody else to see what they're doing and make that connection. Both Alan and I will be running a session on Monday afternoon, and it's very much an open space conversation where we would invite everyone to actively participate, and it will be very much a fluid conversation. It may be something that you have not experienced before, but it's something that we're very keen to try out, and we would welcome you to wholeheartedly take part in that. Otherwise we might shout at you. Okay. But I would like to say again, just in terms of our own personal acknowledgement and the relationships that we have developed with Tony and other staff and Jim and many other Global Peace Foundation colleagues here today, we see that as an evolving partnership and we would like that to grow over the period of time. So, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the conference. Again, a very, very warm welcome to Belfast. It is a fantastic city. I'm being biased, I grew up here, but it is a fantastic place. I hope that this space over the next few days will empower you and you have the opportunity to talk about things. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Harry. Appreciate those words. So we've had a greeting from the south coast of Ireland, the north of Ireland, and then we have to go to the west coast of Ireland. It's my great pleasure to bring up Arnold Kashembe. Arnold is the country director for the Global Peace Foundation here in Ireland. Arnold is actually from Tanzania, and he came to Ireland in 2005. And last year, he became a brand newly minted Irishman. Got his Irish citizenship just last year. And Arnold has been doing really great work, doing a lot of cross-community work between stakeholders and students and community leaders in Northern Ireland and Southern Ireland. So our headquarters is in Limerick on the west coast. So let's have Arnold come up and say a few words of welcome to you.
Thank you very much, Tony, for the kind word, and then for the very great support that Global Peace Foundation International and everybody has been giving me to advance the work of Global Peace Foundation here in Ireland. Excellencies and ladies and gentlemen, it's great to be here in this beautiful building of Rideau Hall in Queen's University. This is a very beautiful and great campus, and maybe it's the first time that you've been here in Northern Ireland, but I've been fortunate to visit Northern Ireland many times in the last 10 years that I've been here in Ireland. And then I've had the pleasure to work very closely with wonderful people who became like my family. Dr. Alan Largy and then Barry Fennel, that I've worked with them for almost 7 years in cross-border and cross-community. So when I visit Northern Ireland most of the time, and then looking at the conflict and then the result of all the trouble that Northern Ireland has gone through, and then I reflected globally, and then sending my thought to many places around the world where people experience also this kind of conflict and then atrocity. My first thought in my journey, my mind, and just sending me to the Great Lake region of Africa, especially in the small country of Rwanda, where the hatred among people, among tribes, lost the lives of almost 1 million people through the genocide. And then I didn't stop there thinking. I went to the eastern part of Congo, where as a result of the rebellions and then the conflict between the rebel groups, almost 11 rebel groups operating in the area against the government, and then looking at the number of people who have died as a result of the conflict in the area, amounting almost to 5 million people. And then it's really showing how the world needs much work. I didn't stop there thinking of the area where the conflict has really devastated people. I sent my thought, same in East Africa, in the Great Lake region, especially in the eastern part of Congo, where I see Panzi Hospital. It's an hospital where women who have been victims of rape, repeated rapes by the rebel group, are being treated, being given a hope in that hospital. And then I don't stop there thinking. I just take my thought again to the shopping mall in Westgate in Nairobi, where innocent shoppers were again down by radicalized Al-Shabaab. And then I didn't stop there thinking. And I just took my thought also to the shore of Turkey, where the young 3-year boy was found dead by the Life Coast people simply because the parents were obliged to take a dangerous journey as a way of fleeing conflict in Turkey, in Syria. So I didn't stop there thinking. Just going again into the rubbles in Aleppo, where the young 7-year-old boy was rescued from the rubbles because of the conflict, the bombardment that is just really going on into Aleppo. So all of these and then many other situations around the world really make me think that we have a lot to work in the field of peace. And then our work is very much more needed now than it has been never needed before. So the gathering here today will define the commitment that we, all of us as peace builders, have been doing around the world, and then will be a platform to sharing the greater experience that we've done in our own countries. But to finish that, because it is my very great pleasure to have you all here and then looking at the work of peace building in Northern Ireland, as well as sharing with other people around here for the work that you've done in the world. But to finish, I would just really like to quote one of a very good saying from Mos Def. Mos Def is an American actor known as Dante Terrell Smith. He said, "The idea of peace and love toward humanity should be nationalistic or denominational. It should be a chief concern for all mankind." So I welcome you here, and then I hope that these 2 days will really give us very good results on the way forward in the work of peace building. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Arnold. So we've been to the south, the north, the west, so it's just the east left. So it's my great pleasure now to invite up the International President of Global Peace Foundation, Jim Flynn. Jim was born and raised in the United States, but his ancestry comes from Ireland, from County Wicklow, which is on the east coast of Ireland. It's actually one of the 50 most common names in Ireland, Flynn is. And Jim has been actually the driving force behind this Global Peace Leadership Conference and the fact that we're going to have it here in Belfast. So let's welcome Jim to give a formal welcome.
Good afternoon all. Thank you so much for joining us here at Riddle Hall at Queen's University for the beginning of this Global Peace Leadership Conference. Just as Tony mentioned, actually my recent family immigrated from here in Ireland to the United States. My grandfather immigrated from County Wicklow, and so I'm one of those many millions of Americans and others who have a linkage to the Emerald Isle. As a proud Irish American, I sometimes joke that this is the one place in the world where I get to use my full name. See, Jim Flynn is very common, so therefore I want to use my full name, which is James Patrick Flynn. And so I'm very happy to be here. I consider this a very special and important place. I'd like to thank our co-sponsoring partner, Cooperation Ireland. Our work with them is very, very meaningful. We consider it essential that we be able to work in partnership and collaboration in a multi-sector way. And we're particularly grateful to Barry and Alan and others at Cooperation Ireland for the work that we're doing together. And I especially want to thank each and every one of you for spending your time, which we know is very, very valuable, for you spending your time to be here. Actually, in this room is an incredible wealth of experience, of wisdom, of insight, of an understanding of peace processes from so many different parts of the world. So I do sincerely appreciate each one of you for spending your time in being here. We have experience and wisdom and on-the-ground practitioner help, insight from Africa, from the Middle East, from Southeast Asia, from the US, all here in this room. And so we look forward to some very, very meaningful discussions over the next few days. Because your time is valuable as ours, we want to actually use this time as much as we can to learn from each other, to gain insights into how we might address together in a more effective way the challenges that face our world today, which are very, very serious challenges. Yesterday, we had many of our international participants who visited Belfast for the first time had really meaningful opportunity to learn about the circumstances here in Northern Ireland, to visit the neighborhoods and the communities that have wrestled with profound issues for decades. We also heard from significant leaders who shared very poignant, really moving stories of their own personal journey, challenge, and effort to find hope, to find a way forward, to find the pathway to peace. And as we visited those places, I thought this is an extremely unique and important environment and place to learn. But I also thought and realized, and I expect that you would agree, that around our world, those same kind of stories, those same kind of challenges, perhaps with a different narrative, with different details, but underneath are the same kinds of challenges, the same kinds of issues. And I think you would also agree, because you're here and you're doing the work that you do, that from one lens, we see the challenge, we see the great intractability in our world, where the challenges, the problems, the mind-numbing inhumanity in our world seems to be so overwhelming. And yet, from another lens, to see the power of the human spirit, to see individuals in so many different kinds of circumstances working to transform tragedy into hope, working to uplift the people, the families, the communities that they serve, presents such an incredible inspiration. And so, as we discuss the important challenges that we face together, we're looking to zero in on how we can magnify that light, how we can create synergies that enable us to more effectively push back those tendencies within our human experience which are so tragic and unjust, and that we can work together to make an important difference. The Global Peace Foundation works in 24 countries. Our approach is a values-based approach, because we believe that first and foremost we must have a vision of how we can live and work together. We believe that our diverse and pluralistic world can be bound together on the basis of simple shared values, that our common humanity is the baseline of who we are, that when we engage with people from around the world, there's different languages, different religious traditions, different cultural backgrounds, but at essence, the essence of our humanness is something that we share. And the heart and the spirit of who we are as human beings is something that binds us together. In the many, many languages of the world, we need to have obstacles to understand each other. But when we feel joy and smile and laugh, we need no translator. When a mother or father, a son or a daughter is feeling the anguish of loss with tears streaming down his or her face, we have no need of a translator. We know that heart and spirit, we can resonate with that. And so We believe in the Global Peace Foundation that this 21st century offers a time of great opportunity if we use the tools of our time with a renewed sense of ethical commitment, responsible leadership, a determination to work together, to elevate the experience and the circumstance of our entire human family. We believe actually that to think like a catalyst, right? So the efforts that we can make together, any one organization or any even all of us here together, is in some ways quantitatively very small. But a catalyst has the nature of bringing a dramatic change, even though the quantitative contribution may be small, the qualitative impact is much greater. So I believe that all of us here are catalysts, are change agents that can make a significant difference. And I hope over the next few days we have the opportunity to engage deeply and meaningfully in discussion and dialogue on these important issues, that we might be able to work together more effectively to make a positive contribution to our world so much in need of lifting and honoring of our common humanity. Thank you very much, and we look forward to very, very rich and meaningful discussions together. Thank you.